Kate Middleton and Melania Trump have just made history with their very first solo outing together, and it's one that has royal watchers, political analysts, and celebrity enthusiasts buzzing all over the world. On September 18th, 2025, at Frogmore Gardens in Windsor, the Princess of Wales and the First Lady of the United States stepped out side by side for a youth-centered event that blended diplomacy, service, and symbolism in ways that very few public moments ever do. This wasn't just a meeting of two powerful women, it was a carefully designed statement of unity, compassion, and influence. From the very start, the tone of the day was strikingly different from the pomp and ceremony we often associate with state visits. Instead of palaces, glittering banquets, or motorcades, this moment unfolded outdoors, surrounded by children, crafts, and nature. And that's what made it so remarkable. Kate, who has been steadily resuming her public duties after her cancer treatment earlier this year, was the one to host Melania for this engagement, showing the world that she's not just back, she is back with purpose. Melania, often a quiet but stylish figure in her role, embraced the event with warmth, surprising even some of her critics by leaning into the theme of childhood, curiosity, and play. The women were there to join young members of the Squirrels program, the youngest branch of the UK Scouts, for children aged 4 to 6. If you've never heard of it, Squirrels is all about giving the youngest kids a chance to explore nature, teamwork, and creativity. On this day, the activities were simple but deeply meaningful. Crafts, bug hotels, nature stamping, games, and even sharing food. And it was the small touches that stood out most. Kate brought along sandwiches made with honey from her own family's hives in Norfolk, while Melania contributed jars of honey from the White House gardens. Imagine that, two women from two very different worlds sharing honey with children as a gesture of friendship. And it didn't stop there. They joined the children on the grass, playing parachute games, helping with leaf art, and even building little bug houses. Kate, true to her reputation as a hands-on royal, knelt right down with the children, laughing and chatting as if she were one of the parents there. Melania, often seen as more reserved in public, visibly softened. At one moment, a small child tugged at her hand and asked if she was the next princess. That innocent question captured the surreal, fairy tale-like nature of the day. Both women smiled, and the crowd watching could feel just how unique the encounter was. The Scouts ended the event by awarding the children their Go Wild badges, a rite of passage for the little ones. In a sweet twist, Kate and Melania were also given honorary Squirrels patches, a playful but symbolic gesture that cemented the idea that they were truly part of the day, not just guests hovering on the sidelines. Of course, fashion was front and center for many. Kate chose an earthy green suede military-style jacket paired with a russet vest, tweed skirt, and suede boots. Practical, chic, and deeply tied to her countryside aesthetic. Melania mirrored her in tone, wearing a cinnamon suede Ralph Lauren jacket with cream trousers and soft flats. The coordination was not a coincidence. It was a statement. These two women, representing two powerful institutions, walked into this engagement visually in sync, signaling harmony rather than contrast. Even their accessories leaned toward natural simplicity rather than the grandeur of previous state events. But beyond what they wore, what captured people's hearts was the message of the outing. Kate has long spoken about the importance of nature for mental health, childhood development, and even her own recovery journey. She looked completely in her element, and that authenticity radiated. Melania, whose own initiatives have often centered around children and well-being, found common ground in Kate's passion. Watching them side by side, it became clear that this was more than just a polite formality. It was a genuine partnership moment, rare in the world of politics and royalty. Public reaction has been overwhelmingly positive. Commentators have praised the natural warmth of the event, with many calling it refreshingly human compared to the often stiff optics of diplomacy. Social media exploded with photos of Kate sitting cross-legged on the grass surrounded by kids, while Melania leaned over to help a little one press leaves onto paper. One viral clip showed the two women laughing together as a parachute ball game went slightly off track. For once, headlines weren't about rivalry, controversy, or stiff protocol. They were about joy, unity, and two women stepping out of the shadows of their roles to create something memorable. Of course, not everyone agreed. Some critics noted that the event was meticulously stage-managed and argued that it was designed as much for optics as for substance. Still, even those voices admitted that the warmth felt authentic, particularly from Kate, whose connection with children has long been undeniable. Others were quick to analyze Melania's more understated presence, noting how this marked a deliberate shift from her more glamorous wardrobe and carefully guarded demeanor in previous visits. Whether it was personal growth, smart planning, or both, it worked. And let's not forget the symbolism of the location. Frogmore Gardens isn't just a picturesque setting, it's deeply tied to royal history, but also to the modern narrative of the monarchy. It's a place that blends tradition with the present, much like this event itself. By choosing this venue, Kate grounded the moment in heritage, while still giving it a light, casual atmosphere that felt accessible, rather than elitist. This was also a major milestone in royal diplomacy. Historically, first ladies and members of the royal family have appeared together at banquets, ceremonies, or official receptions. But this, an intimate, hands-on outing with children, was a first. It marked the first solo joint engagement between Kate Middleton and Melania Trump, separate from larger formalities. And it sent a clear message. Women in power don't just belong in palaces or political chambers, they belong on the ground, with children, making personal connections that ripple into the larger narrative. The resonance of this outing will likely echo for years. For Kate, it reaffirms her position as the heart of the royal family's future, accessible, compassionate, and deeply invested in childhood and family. For Melania, it softens her image, presenting her not just as the glamorous wife of a president, but as a woman capable of connecting with children and finding common ground with leaders outside the political sphere. Together, they turned what could have been a minor photo op into a headline-making story of unity. And that's why this outing has captivated the world. It wasn't about politics, it wasn't about titles. It was about humanity, childhood, and two women stepping into roles that transcended their labels. In a world often dominated by division and spectacle, this rare collaboration felt like a breath of fresh air, simple, meaningful, and yes, just a little bit magical. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more celebrity updates just like this.